and welcome to Flappity Flap Podcast, the show where we
keep on flapping.
Warm your hearts. And it is episode 40. Governor.
Is it really episode 40?
It will be if we don't screw this one up.
Wow. Well, you know, it's inevitable.
That number 40?
Yeah.
Because it comes after 39.
Sure.
What do you have for us today, Brandon?
Well.
Sorry, I had to adjust my chair. I should have done that before. I'm so unprofessional.
I don't remember why we did this, but we looked up the fear of belly buttons.
Oh, because you were invading my belly button.
Oh, no.
And I asked you not to.
No, I think I was sitting here.
Oh, that's right.
Touching my own belly button, and you were just disturbed by it.
Because you were digging. You were mining. You weren't just like touching it, like fondling it lovingly.
I was like, I had my finger in my belly button.
But you had that like 4-year-old look, like, you know, looking down your chin, like looking to see what you got.
Looking like a child, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But
and then I think you might have even held your finger up, like, or you were just like your brow furrowed, like, what is that? And I was disgusted.
I mean, I wash.
I might be inventing. So I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're not a dirty person, but I just have a thing. And then it led to a discussion about, I don't like my belly button being touched. I don't like to watch people touch their belly buttons. I don't like to know or think about what is in a belly button.
Mm-hmm.
Because I might have had a partner who stuck his finger in under my nose after he dug, and it was atrocious. Appalling. I don't know. All of those.
Yeah.
And that just cemented my issue. I keep wanting to lean my head back, forgetting that we removed my headrest, and I'm like, oh.
I don't know if I've ever smelled my finger after digging into my belly button, or if I just don't have a smell in my belly button. But I have like, have you ever like picked in your ear and then like smelled it?
The smell of earwax is not pleasant.
The smell of earwax is awful.
Yeah, I get a fair amount of earwax, so that happens to me.
It's a weird thing to do, to like dig in a place and then smell it.
Well, my ears get itchy, I think, a lot more in the winter because it's dry, the pressure.
Yeah.
And then, so I just sometimes when I'm sitting there, especially if I have like my AirPods in, I like will just feel this immediate need, this itch, and I just gotta dig in there. And then I'm like, oh, look what I found. I don't know why that doesn't gross me out. I mean, it's kind of gross when someone else does it in front of me, but not like the belly button thing. That just sends me over the edge. It's on par with or more disgusting than seeing someone pick their nose.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I didn't know it was that bad. Because I know you saw like a homeless guy picking his nose or something. And
it wasn't even a homeless person. It was someone of a different culture because it's a little more acceptable to do that in public, I guess. And I just was retching on the BART, Bay Area Rapid Transit, if you don't know what that is, if you're not from the Bay Area. And when I worked in the city. And then the image would pop into my head over the next few days, you know, because you just do that. You like torture yourself if you're weird like me. And I just, every time if I think about it, I will.
It's when there's like too much to it, you know? Like, if the specimen has too many, the specimen being the booger, has too many features about it. That's all. I'm trying to keep it vague for you.
I don't even think I saw the specimen.
It's one thing if
it was just imagining.
It's one thing if it's like a little, you know, if it's like a little grain of sand. It's another.
Please.
No, we have to keep going. And it's another thing if it's
I can't plug my ears because I have these massive headphones.
So it's going directly into your ears. Yes. No.
I get it from my granddaddy, my mom's dad. He, my uncle, he has a fishing boat. He lives on the Delta, and they went fishing with him, and he, my uncle took like clams. They had like raw clams or some kind of bait.
Oh, and he acted like
he sneezed, and he showed it to and he was like ready to hurl. Like that's always been a thing. Like he couldn't handle, I think he couldn't handle diapers. He couldn't handle vomiting children or grandchildren. I get it. I've had to become stronger because, you know, I don't know, maybe because I'm a woman. And even though I don't have children, like there's just stuff you have to deal with. And maybe after babysitting my
like
cousins
what?
one time years ago, and they both got sick, and they got sick in a public place, and it was like, fuck, just got to clean this up.
Oh.
You know?
Puked?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Puke is...
They, of course, got the flu when
Puke is
my aunt and
disgusting.
uncle went to Mexico for a week, and I was watching them, and I'm terrified of watching children anyway. Anything can happen. You know, the older cousin...
Yeah, you probably should bleep
the older
any
cousin
names.
got sick late at night, and then I think he got like a chunk stuck. See, this doesn't gross me out as much as boogers. He got like a chunk, you could like hear it was like kind of stuck, and I called my other aunt who lived like a half hour away.
Wait. A chunk of barf
You could just hear
in his throat?
you could hear something like maybe kind of
that
caught
gives
in
me the
knee.
heebie-jeebies.
And you could like it was just kind of stuck. I think it got loosened, but it was just, and his vomit had like a stench to it. And then the other one got sick. Maybe he got sick the day before or the day after. I don't remember. And I took them to the donut shop because my aunt said, you know, I'll take him to get donuts before school once a week or whatever. And he started to get sick, and I couldn't move him fast enough. And he just got sick, like, I think like out front, in the in the front of the donut shop. And I'm like asking these people, like, where's your mop? You know, it was awful. It was like the worst. If I ever thought at that point, and I'm pretty sure I didn't, that I might have children, that just clinched it for me, you know. And then on the car ride to drop the other cousin off, because I was keeping the one home because he was sick, and he's like, he smells like milk, because he was like, he vomited. I'm sure the listeners, I just was reliving it so vividly. Like, it was a real fun time.
Yeah. The piece stuck in his throat while he's breathing. That
I was panicked. I said, is he gonna choke on his? And she's like, it's fine. It'll probably just work itself out.
Oh.
He's clearly still
that's
breathing.
disturbing me. That's actually...
I don't know why that doesn't... It was horrible at the time, but something about boogies
Imagining
is just...
choking on barf is quite possibly one of the grossest things.
Yeah, I apologize. I don't know why I brought it up. I started to go there, and then I had to like process it, you know, like a therapy session. Like I had to just relive the trauma in order to get past it.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily for you guys, you were all here listening, you know, bearing witness, you and them, bearing witness to my pain, the process. Yeah. Okay.
You're a little quiet.
Okay.
Okay.
What you got? Oh, belly buttons. Yes.
Fear of belly buttons.
So we happened to... What is it called? Omphalophobia.
Omphalophobia.
Omphalophobia. That's how the online pronunciation thing would say it. Omphalophobia.
That is. So I was just reading through it quickly, and it is an overwhelming fear of seeing or touching a belly button, whether it's yours or other people's.
Just to be clear, don't be touching other people's unless you're like a doctor performing belly button surgery surgery where you have to access through the belly button. Don't be touching other people's belly buttons.
This phobia can be successfully treated, understandably, because it's something that's not harmful, you know. So I get it. So I then just proceeded to scroll through to see what, you know, I don't know. I was just scrolling, and then there were comments. So one person says, anytime someone touches or tries to touch my belly button, I instantly get defensive and nauseous. I can't help it.
Nauseous.
Makes me squeamish just thinking and talking about it.
And how many times are people walking up to you, touching your... Like, maybe she means, like, her dad or her brother or her boyfriend. You know, like, dads and brothers will just, like, poke you and prod you and, like... I mean, not, like, in a... You know, tickle you or whatever.
She actually goes into that. She says, my fiance, children, essentially everyone around me who knows about my fear thinks it's hilarious and tries to poke me. I literally had to cover my BB, my belly button, with my hands to feel any relief from the anxiety. Nausea stays for a good bit.
You just got to plug it up. You got to plug it with like wax or something. Like a chastity belt for your belly button. Or a plug.
That's a possibility, but then again, they might consider the thought of inserting something into their belly button as wrong.
That's true.
So maybe just like, what are those things called that women wear? It's like a belt kind of thing.
A belt.
It's like a clothing belt type thing.
Otherwise known as a belt?
No. I forget what it's called.
Like a sash?
What is it called?
Or something?
It's kind of like a sash, but they're big.
I can't think of what
I think
it's called.
women can wear them as like a top or as like something else.
I don't know.
I forget what they're called.
Okay.
Anywho,
like a tube top? No.
Cover it in cloth.
Yeah. Just cover it up.
Yeah.
Just add more shame to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I forget which.
There were some that were like really upsetting.
Here's an interesting one. So this person says, I suffer from this phobia, have done since I can remember, though I do not recall such. Oh my gosh.
You want me to read it?
I need to practice reading. Yeah. Do you want to read it actually?
Should we switch places?
I can send it to you.
Okay.
Do you have Facebook open?
Sure. Well, Facebook?
Yeah.
Or browser?
Facebook.
Oh.
And if you can open your Messenger, so you can have a big. So go to Facebook and open the Messenger. It's on the left. So go to see more.
It's right here.
Go to see more.
It's right here.
Go to see more. Good God. Go down. Scroll down to Messenger. There you go. That way you can have a big viewing of it.
You smarty pants.
I know. I only had to yell at you about it.
Why didn't you tell me?
I was just waiting for
Bitch.
you.
All right. I suffer from this phobia, have done since I can remember, though I do not recall any such trigger trauma. Are you jealous? The reason for this phobia is beyond me.
Am I jealous?
Of my reading. But my sister feels exactly the same as I do. I'm 31. A few years ago, I had my gallbladder removed. The most horrifying part... Damn it.
You're a worse reader than I am.
The most horrifying part was waking up to hear the surgeon proudly explaining to me that he'd gone through my belly button. One of the keyholes to extract it. It was honestly one of the most traumatizing experiences of my life. I can't even think about it without feeling utterly squeamish. I hate all things belly button, and it freaks me out when anyone goes near mine. Or their own. I don't think some people understand quite how mortifying it is for me when they jokingly play around with their belly button in front of me or try and touch mine for a laugh. It's a pretty serious phobia, though I'm not entirely sure it's debilitating for me.
Yeah.
So, comments, questions?
I
just think it's funny that the doctor proudly explaining he'd gone through one of the keyholes.
Through the belly button.
So that's... Wait, did she or he... Anon? Is that when it started?
Isn't that called laparoscopy or something?
I think so. Is that... I have done since I can remember. Huh. Okay, so it was already a thing, but the gallbladder surgery just made it worse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I could see that.
It's almost like another crotch, you know? Like if someone's poking you or delving in there, it's like if they're in your crotch almost.
I think of it the same way as I think of like my nipples. Mm-hmm. Like they're just kind of weird and there, but I don't really
enjoy people touching them.
I don't really think anything about them, I guess is what I'm getting at. It's just kind of there.
Is it sensitive like your nipples, though? You know, I think both of us have, like, kind of sensitive nipples.
It feels the same.
Really?
As the rest of me.
It just feels invasive, even when I'm doing it. Like, get out of there, I'm telling myself. You don't belong. I wonder if people who have the issue, like, maybe it didn't heal right when they were a kid. Because the thing, does it just kind of fall off? I remember, like, with lambs, you would just put iodine on it, and then it would just fall off eventually.
I don't know.
I think it just falls off. But, like, maybe it doesn't quite heal right. Oh, I sent you a thing earlier about frogs eating butterflies, and it's just playing in the background.
After the umbilical cord is cut at birth, a stump of tissue, I don't like that word, a stump of tissue remains attached to your baby's belly button or
it's
navel.
It's like a little dried out stick, right?
That's repulsive.
Now you're going to have Omphalophobia.
Yep. Omphalophobia. The stump gradually dries and shrivels until it falls off. Usually 1 or 2 weeks after birth. So maybe that's like where their fear came from. Maybe they like had a little brother or little sister or something that had that, and it like
pull their stump
fell off in front of them or something. Mm-hmm. That would be enough, I think, to give me a complex. It is important that you keep the umbilical cord stump. They just love that word.
Stump. Call it a twig. It's more like a twig.
How about just a nothing? The umbilical cord piece and surrounding skin clean and dry. Okay.
You can handle that.
Fucking stump. What is the person's obsession with the word stump?
Yeah, I would say like residual or
piece.
Remnant.
The piece of umbilical cord.
Yeah.
That way you aren't like painting a picture of this dried, mummified belly button part.
This wide thing with like rings in it.
It's just not. I do not approve of that.
You know what it reminds me of is when we would have, because we did 4-H, we did sheep. We didn't do sheep. Oh my God, we bred and showed sheep.
I don't think anybody was thinking that.
Yeah, people always make jokes about farmers and Australians doing stuff to their sheep, or Scottish people.
Are you Australian?
No, but I'm just saying the sheep thing, it's quite common. Anyway, so when you dock or band their tails, which I think is kind of changing now, that practice, but the tissue slowly, I think it just cuts off any circulation or something, and it slowly like dies, and then it just like the tail falls off. But every once in a while, if you see it like about to come off, you can like just pull it off. And my mom had
that's so disgusting.
My mom had a bummer lamb, which is a lamb that's rejected by its mother, or like the mother.
Not just a lamb that's a downer.
It's like Eeyore. Yeah, I hate Mondays. Oh no, that's Garfield. Anyway, so or the mom can't produce milk, or something wrong with the teat or something. Teats.
Maybe her teat stumps have shriveled.
So if you have a bummer lamb, you have to feed it like every 3 or 4 hours, bottle milk, formula. And so she had it at the office with her, and it was running across the room, and like she noticed that like the tail was like, hanging by a thread.
So fucking
and she
disgusting.
Just reached over and like plucked it off, and her coworker was like, oh. That was great.
Yeah.
That was a great story. Because we were just used to it. Like,
your mom must have like a stomach of steel.
You kind of get used to it, because the disturbing thing is when you have... Because when we had lambs, when we lived with her partner at the time...
Yeah.
You'd have a bunch of lambs at once, and it was really cute because they'd run around and they'd be like playing King of the Mountain, and you would just have like, you would see like tails littering.
That's so
kind of littering the yard.
Repulsive.
Because and
just leave their tails on. Although then do they get shitty tails?
They do get shitty tails, but I think
I don't know which is worse.
I don't know if naturally it kind of is dealt with, because I never saw it except on sheep that were just kind of grazing sheep, like to keep grass down. But like for the show ring, they're just not. If you saw a lamb with a tail or a longer, like not properly docked tail, it was like you kind of looked down on them, like they didn't do it right. And it kind of looked like maybe someone who didn't have a great 4-H club, or like they didn't know what they were doing. And, now I think more and more people are leaving them on. Kind of like dogs, Charlie's the rare Aussie shepherd, although he's a mix and a rescue, so that might be partly why, but he has a tail. So when people see that he's an Aussie, and they're like, oh, an Aussie with a tail. And I don't even think about it, because it's just how he looks.
His tail is a fucking...
Okay, that's not an opening.
His tail is a feather duster.
But it serves a purpose.
But it does more producing of dust than it does collecting of dust.
Anyway, my agility teacher said that that's why Aussies aren't good. They're not as good at agility, is because they don't have a tail for the balance. Because it's a huge thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
They're
I hope
like
I'm not
monkeys.
misremembering that. Exactly. You're taking away their like innate, balancing mechanism, tool, implement. Carry on.
Very interesting.
You mean it?
Yeah.
All right. Just felt like a little bit.
You're a little on edge today.
I told you I'm PMSing. I can't help it. It's nature.
Well,
be gentle with me. Do as I say.
I don't know. I think
Feed me ice cream. You're not going to respond to any of those. Okay. Charming.
I'm trying to move.
Do you want to just switch places and I'll read them?
You could go onto this site.
That's
Here,
dumb.
I'll send it to
That's
you.
the
Here.
dumbest thing you've ever said.
Oh, I'm gargling.
I'm doing this course, and it's like a dream building course that my life coach recommended, and she's teaching. And sometimes the lady on the meditations and the other audio, I can like hear, because I don't think she's done anything to mitigate like mouth sounds or like any kind of pop filters.
Oh yeah.
And I at one point I swear I could hear like a gurgle, and I'm like, really?
Probably doesn't have pop filters.
You kind of block it out eventually. I thought it was going to drive me completely crazy, but it just made me laugh.
Well, when I was using that other mic for the videos, I was any p sound like p. Mm-hmm. The mic would like max out, whatever you call it. What the heck do you call that? When the sound spikes, and it would be like, it sounded like I was blowing on the mic as hard as I could, but so yeah, you got to have that material. Did I send you to the wrong one? No, I didn't.
Oh, no, it's right here.
Yeah, they're right there. You doofus.
Huh.
I'm just kidding. You're not a doofus.
My BB. Oh, I don't want that one.
Yeah, there are a few in there that are kind of serious, and like they have the phobia from assaults and stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're all serious if they're real fears. If it's a real fear.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why I just like the detail of this one. It's not detail, just the end bit. I have this fear, and it's quite bad. I cringe from it, and I crawl up into a ball, and I feel nauseated, but I don't vomit. I don't know. It's just...
very matter of fact.
I developed this phobia after my father poked me once in my belly, jokingly, when I was a child. Can you poke someone jokingly? I mean, you're still poking them. It hurt me for days.
My grandpa used to poke.
It's still a poke. It's like when I say I'm kidding after I've slapped you. I've still slapped you.
It's jokingly. It's like,
not like seriously aggressive.
Poking and prodding. No, it's poking like in the ribs. My grandpa used to poke everyone in the ribs. Mm-hmm. And my dad, I think, got revenge on him because he jabbed him in both of his ribs.
And broke them?
No, but he was like, that's what it feels like, Bob.
My gosh. Your dad is funny.
Well...
Did he stop after that?
I think he did. Because he would just poke people. Mm-hmm. And I used to do that in high school. and actually a friend slammed me up against the wall. And I think he was ready to beat me up because I was just poking him.
Okay. Oh, you did tell the story. I was going to say.
Because I was just being annoying, as you know, you do when you're younger.
As you can be.
Okay. I was just poking him, and he slammed me against the wall and like picked me up off my feet.
Did he have Omphalophobia?
I wasn't poking him in the belly button. I was poking him in the sides. Because that's... Yeah, I don't know. I must have got that from my grandpa. Just like, here's how you be annoying to everyone around you. Poke them in the sides. And
I think you might have just been born with it.
Thanks.
Anyway, poked me once in the belly, jokingly, when I was a child. It hurt me for days. It became all red and infected from that stupid poke. I can still recall the pain from poking. It really is a very strange kind of pain. Not only physical, but kind of psychological as well, as it instantly makes you cringe. I don't mind other people's belly buttons, but I feel all weak thinking about mine. The pain from poking instantly comes to my mind. Oh, I shouldn't laugh. I was only a child when that happened, and I'm 32 now.
I think it's just because it's connected to the belly button and the word belly button, which is just kind of a funny word.
Yeah, it's just better if you call it a navel, right? I mean, this one's my favorite. Do you want to read this one?
No, go for it.
Sometimes, even when I sleep flatwise.
Oh yeah, I love this one.
I'm
sorry though. Let me just say, you know, it's like if it is a real fear, if they aren't just trolling, I feel bad.
I could be trolling.
I do feel bad for them.
I hope it's that sounds mean. I hope it's real.
Okay, it's just a thought that is comical. Just because it's
very detailed.
It's a very outlandish.
Very imaginative.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you sure you don't want to read it?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Sometimes, even when I sleep flatwise, or flat, I think, I'm thinking maybe someone downstairs is trying to put a drill to the roof and it might come straight in my belly button. Or maybe someone will come to me when I sleep and put a finger in it. That seems more logical than the drill.
That would probably have to be a very long drill to get through your bed.
The floor.
Or whatever mattress. Yeah.
Oh, wait. Coming up from the ceiling underneath? Yeah, downstairs.
So it'd have to come through...
Without you waking.
Like a foot's worth of floor.
Yeah.
And then through, 2 or 3 feet's worth of bed.
And materials.
Depending on what you're laying on.
Without you waking.
Either way, a very long drill bit.
Yeah.
So...
Highly unlikely.
You're probably safe from that. But, irrational fears are a thing. Mm-hmm. I think I told you this, I used to be afraid of vampires.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I would, as if it would even keep me safe from vampires, I would put the blankets up, like right up to my chin. And that's how I would sleep when I was little.
To protect your neck.
Exactly.
That's funny. I think I had a dream about a vampire last night. And a vampire biting me again after I'd already been bitten. So, like, the bite was still tender. And in my dream, it was so, like, ow.
Ow.
Why?
I don't know.
Why did I dream that?
I don't know.
Huh.
Do you have any bug bites on your neck?
Oh. I don't think so.
Whoa. Whoa.
Shut up. Okay. Honestly, I've probably had my fear of belly buttons since a few years back. I can't stand looking at them. When my friends or sister wears crop tops, I feel very uncomfortable and start rubbing my stomach, which usually helps calm me down. Especially outies.
Which is ironic because your belly button is on your stomach.
Yeah. Especially outies are my weakness. Maybe it's like an unconscious, like, protecting of the belly button.
Do adults have outie belly buttons?
Especially outies are my weakness. If I see a girl wearing a crop top with an outie or anyone in general that shows their outie, I just feel like it's going to pop and I can't focus on anything else. I was once at a college visit and the tour guide had what I thought was an outie that was so big you could see it popping out from under her shirt. Turns out that it was only her jeans button, but still, for that 45 minutes I felt like I was having a panic attack. Reading some of these comments made me really uncomfortable, but at the same time, comforted because I know that not only do I have this fear, but many others do. Oh no. When I was younger, I was told my parents could see into my belly button, which resulted in having to go in and having it glued. I was too young to remember, but the thought haunts me. My belly button constantly has infections come and go, along with a huge queasy feeling if it is touched. My father had an umbilical hernia, which also makes me queasy. I thought that one was going to be funnier, and now I just feel bad. Because that's awful.
Oh, yeah. My uncle told me one time he was at a bodybuilders convention, because he used to lift weights like crazy, and he saw a guy and he was like, does that guy have his dick hanging out? And it was his belly button, because he had a herniated belly button.
That's awful.
It is. Yeah, I feel really horrible for these people.
I remember kids having outies.
Outie belly buttons aren't as...
Obviously, when we were kids. Sorry about the throat clearing.
They aren't as scary as I, had thought they might be. It's just a belly button. I guess I'm just not really affected by it. I am, however, affected by the stumps falling off. That disturbs me.
This one's good. I think this might have been.
But if you have an innie, I'm sorry to interrupt. If you have an innie or an outie or whatever kind of belly button you have, be proud. It's just a belly button.
Yeah, it's hard though. Isn't that like an SNL thing with Woody Harrelson? Doesn't Adam Sandler like have like a huge outie? Like it's like a few inches long.
I don't remember.
And Woody Harrelson's like trying to get everyone to take their tops off and be proud. And of course he's just like slim and lean and muscular. And like one of them is super hairy. And I think.
And of course they have Chris Farley there, who is just overweight.
Yeah.
Which is like shitty in its own way. It's like all these other people are modified and I'm just here. I'm just myself. I'm just myself.
Aww.
That's pretty shitty.
I was intimate with a woman recently, and she actually stuck her tongue in mine. It happened so fast, or I would have stopped her. This was now 3 days ago, and I'm still so disgusted and upset about it. I'm sorry we're all suffering from this, but I feel better knowing I'm not the only one.
That's a little funny.
I just said,
just
slap her. Just slap her head.
Slap
Get out of
her
there.
head.
That's what I tell you when you touch mine. Get out of there.
Yeah, but I'm not sticking my tongue in it.
I know. I didn't say that.
Okay. It's just a fun place to poke. And mine, if I like slap my finger in it the right way, I can like cup. Here, let me. Come on.
Just do it. Just do it over the mic if you must.
I can like cup the sound. There we go.
Beautiful.
I can like cup the belly button perfectly.
Oh my gosh.
I just made all of our, what are they called?
Listeners?
Omphalophobia phobics nauseous.
Barf. They're
with my song.
Into fetal positions.
With my belly button.
Someone's doing an essay on it.
Song.
Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. I think that might be good.
Yeah. I think that's plenty.
It's interesting to see the people on here who are like, I didn't know that this was a thing. Maybe that explains why I hate people touching mine or theirs or talking about it. Yeah. Oh my gosh. You can use hydrogen peroxide to spray your belly button in the shower. Oh my gosh.
I mean, soap should suffice. Just like scrub it real good.
Oh man.
Soap it real good.
Some of them are funny, but like I do need to respect it because
one time I had a splinter stuck in my belly button.
How would you do that?
I don't know.
Were you giving yourself a belly rub on like a pole?
No.
I like how you treated it like a real question. No,
I wasn't. I just looked inside and was like, what is that black dot? And I grabbed some tweezers and there was like a stick stuck in my belly button.
You animal.
It was probably from my shirt. Because actually today, when I took a shower, there was some wood.
Pulp?
What do you call it?
Wood
Not
chips?
pulp. There was like a piece of log. Splinteriness.
That word you were just using.
There was like splinters, but like
I don't understand why you had a hard time with that word.
Because there was a big piece. It wasn't like a little sliver.
Like
it was
a
like
chip?
It was
like a wood chip?
big piece of wood stuck in my belly button.
You're making people with omphalophobia barf.
It's I'm sorry. Barf. You're making them barf. It's weird because like how does that happen? Does your t-shirt just make everything, migrate toward your belly button?
It is a hole. It's like a black hole.
It's just crazy because
Sucking all the debris in.
also like lint, like how does it grab so much lint and like
How much lint do you have?
any at all? How does it grab any?
Well, it's like your armpits. Like if you wear a new shirt and you get kind of sweaty.
I don't ever get linty armpits.
Well, that's probably because you have hair. So like for me, if I wear like a newer shirt or it's only been washed a couple times, like a black or dark colored shirt, it like sticks to my armpit, especially I think because like the deodorant might cling.
It's because you're sweaty.
Your belly button is a dark, moist hole. Hey, you're making the people with Omphalophobia barf.
You just said.
I know.
That was all you.
Oh, I had a thought and I lost it. Shit. Ah, what was my thought? Belly button, belly button. Why are you so gross?
What?
Belly button. What are you doing? Oh, you're looking for annoying tweets, dumb tweets. Fuck it. What were we talking about? You looking at your belly button, doing something. What were we talking about? Trigger my memory.
Your shirt making everything migrate toward your belly button.
Something before
and then
that.
Your armpits.
You took a shower. You had a splinter. Oh, I got bitten. I had a bug bite in my belly button like a few months back. It was so disturbing.
Weird. So there was a spider
itchy.
hiding out in your belly button.
Yeah, thank you for that visual. But it was like hard to tell where the bump was because of the folds in your belly button. And it was just like such an invasion. Not only they crawl on you and bite you in the dark in your sleep when you're vulnerable, but in your belly button. Man, we just gotta patch these things up. Just gotta, I don't know. Yeah.
Like a flap of skin over it.
Maybe. Do we need them? I mean, I guess they probably get like infected because they'd probably still somehow get stuff in them. Maybe not with a patch of skin.
I don't know. I've never thought about it. Literally never.
Well, today's the day to start. Go ahead, read some tweets. Read some upsetting Trump tweets.
Is that what we're going to do next?
You do what you want.
Oh, good news on the COVID relief bill.
Oh, yeah?
Apparently.
What?
Apparently.
According to him.
He says information to follow.
So people are calling it the Trump virus because he says, good news on COVID relief bill, information to follow. And then the top comment says, Trump virus death toll. And then all the dead.
Does it?
Good news on the COVID relief. A competent POTUS will soon be in charge. Holly frickin' Luya.
That's your top comment?
Uh-huh. Maybe it's the phone app.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe it's because you're always engaging with the pro-Trump people, so it pushes those tweets to the top for you. Good news on COVID relief bill. Joe Biden will handle it on day 1. Until then, don't count on anything from this current administration. Put a fork in it. They're done. So I think what's happening... oh my God. I think what's happening is that he's stalling it so then he can be the guy to come through and push it through, like, because he was like wagging his finger at Congress.
$600.
He was wagging his finger at Congress for 7 months of negotiations and $600 and saying how it should have been $2,000.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, but how long did it take? And how long is it going to take to renegotiate it? You just want to be the hero.
And didn't everyone say, why didn't he step in earlier if he wanted it to be a higher amount?
I'm sure that
he could have stepped in earlier and said, can we try for a higher amount? But no, instead he'd rather publicly say, shame on Congress.
Shame on you, yeah.
You should make it 2,000. It's like, Mr. President, you had the power to step in.
Mr. President? I like how scandalized you sound.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he probably could have stepped in and said something sooner instead of waiting for it to be waiting for them to get to the approval process. I don't know. He just has proven himself to not be a smart person in my book.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah.
Someone said, oh, it's the guy who played Charlie in, Kirk Azevedo?
It's Always Sunny.
No, in Fringe. He's been in other stuff. I think he was in one of the seasons of Walking Dead for a bit. He was hanging with the governor. And he says, I think this is him. Wait, how do you... Oh, yeah, it's got a check mark. Can you not be a bitch for one tweet? I'm sure it's a compromise at $1,200. I just like that he just called him a bitch. Someone said, your toupee is on backwards.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people trash talking.
In lieu of the $600 stimulus check, Congress has decided to give all Americans $125 footlongs from Subway. Shut the fuck up, you tangerine-dusted, blunder muppet, mendacious fuck-billed, twatty-puss, hoof-wanking bungle cunt.
Huh.
Showing him golfing at a cemetery. I like how the illustration really defines his butt crack. Oh my gosh. Here's one. Here's a conservative. Leadership when it counts. President Trump delivers for the American people. Unless they're being ironic.
Somebody says something that I think is good. David Weissman. He says, it's not good news unless you have signed it. By the way, fuck you for making this about you.
Yeah.
And playing politics with people's livelihoods. Very much so.
Yeah. Someone here says, the fate of millions of people is hanging in the balance, and TV president thinks they need a frickin' teaser?
TV president, yeah.
That is funny.
Well, and somebody responded to David Weissman's tweet by saying, wanting $2,000 per person and not $600 is not making it about him. He wants America first, as it should be. Fuck you.
That is such bullshit.
But that, you know, this person has never questioned the president on anything he's done.
Oh, someone said, no news is good news until you are reinstated as the rightful president. Ah, jeez.
Yeah. It's crazy. The pro-Trump tweets are fucking bonkers.
You win again. How can the people not love this man? Again, I don't know if some of these are sincere or not.
Make China the greatest again. And it's a picture of Biden over the Chinese flag.
Well, I hope this is true, but after 25,000 lies, and it's a gif of Ron Burgundy, Anchorman, I don't believe you. Start packing, and it shows Trump in a golf cart towing a U-Haul trailer, a little U-Haul.
Yeah, that one's gone around quite a lot.
Might have to retweet that. Yep. Okay, this has become not a podcast.
Yeah, I know.
But just us twittering.
Yeah.
So, we're buying a truck. That doesn't really feel like podcast material. Buying a truck for my auntie and uncle. A 95 Toyota Tacoma. Classic. Vintage. Gonna be worth millions one day. Right?
Of course. Hey. Why wouldn't it be? With the classic 90s paint job on the side.
But don't you agree now?
Looking like a Solo cup.
Is that what they look like? No, those are the paper cups.
No, it's a paper cup. Sorry.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
At first I was like, oh, we got to paint that. And then
Solo cup would just be red.
Yeah. It doesn't look like that. Ugh. I hate red cars. Yeah, I'm excited.
Me too.
I think we're going to look real cool. And that's my primary reason for wanting it.
Yep. We'll also be able to haul
achieve
stuff.
That coolness. Yeah, that too. That'll be handy.
And it's a tiny truck. And teeny tiny trucks are super cool.
Are they?
My dad had a little blue Ford pickup that was tiny when I was younger. I just love that truck.
Aw. What did you love about it?
Just the tininess of it. Because now pickups are all fucking huge.
But I feel like a little kid would love... Like, how old were you when he had that?
I mean, I hated it because I had to be crammed into the back.
Oh, like it was a cab and a half or something?
It was a cab and a half.
Okay.
So I was crammed with my brother. We were like knees to knees.
Yeah.
because it was a half, so you would sit sideways.
Right.
You'd sit facing,
Right.
facing the other person.
Right.
And yeah, that kind of sucked being crammed back there.
So on the rare occasion it was just you and your dad or something, you could sit in the front.
Yeah, and it's just a cool little pickup. I've always liked them.
I feel like a little kid, though, would like a big truck. Like, that would be more exciting. But you liked the little truck.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Wonder why.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So we'll be reliving that. You'll be reliving your youth.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Well, and pickups now are just, I don't know.
Humongous.
They're just unreasonably huge. Like, how much towing power do you really need?
Well, you have to show the world that you are a red-blooded American.
How much stuff are you really towing?
With a big dog and a big dick and a big load to haul.
Uh-huh. I think you should really only get a pickup like that if you're towing like a horse trailer constantly or towing machines to and from places. Otherwise, it's like, why the fuck do you need that? Like, they gave my dad a pickup.
His work?
His company gave him a pickup to use, and it's huge. And I don't think he needs that big of a pickup. But also, I think it's partially because they just don't make normal size vehicles anymore.
Yeah, because he's not going out fixing people's...
He is.
Oh.
So like he needs a toolbox, I think. Or no, actually no, he's not working on anything anymore. So no, he's not.
Right.
Yeah, he's just doing sales now. So he's not doing any work anymore on vehicles. So it's like, why couldn't they have just given him like a car or a smaller pickup? But instead he's got this humongous pickup. I don't understand it. It's definitely the American way. It's like, you don't need it. Oh well, you can have it.
Yeah. I think that's why I felt compelled after you told me that, because I hadn't really done any research. So I didn't know they weren't like making little trucks. I just thought it was just more, macho, wannabe farmer hick guys wanting to have the big truck because and then so when you told me they weren't really making little trucks, it was like this is kind of, it feels like the end of an era, like the last opportunity. And maybe because I had a little Chevy S10 and it was a little clinker, and it went from like my parents had it and then I drove it, and that's how I learned on a stick. I learned how to drive a stick. And then one of my cousins had it, and then they gave it to one of my cousins, and somewhere in there somebody really worked on it, and it was like in the family forever. And it was just fun to be like a girl with a little pickup. It kind of sucked when I drove with a camper shell because you couldn't see shit, but otherwise it was kind of it was just fun to like drive my friends around, and occasionally driving my friends around in the back, with the camper shell on and stuff.
We did that too back in the day.
Yeah. Back in the days of yore.
Back in the day, when you could sit in the back of a pickup. I mean, I think...
Well, I don't think you could, but...
But it was more
legally.
like... It was more... Your likelihood of being pulled over was a lot lower, 20, 25 years ago.
Yeah. Well, especially for me, if you had a camper shell on it, because then you couldn't see people back there.
Yeah. Yeah. But you could also have seats and belts back there, I think, with a camper shell, right?
I didn't.
No?
But
Oh,
I didn't do it that often because I was nervous, but otherwise you could only fit 3 people at the most, and one person had the, shift stick, the stick in their
crotch. Yeah. That you probably should never do. You're probably better off having somebody in the back.
Yeah, at least they had a seatbelt on.
There's a seatbelt for that
middle?
seat?
Yeah. It's a seat. It is a seat.
But you have the stick in between your legs?
I think so.
What the fuck?
Actually?
Actually,
I'm not sure. Because it was a bench seat. It wasn't like...
That's really strange.
I think it was a seat, technically. I don't know, actually. No, yeah, because I don't think I would have been comfortable to have someone up front in that spot without a seatbelt because of the windshield. I think there was a seatbelt in the middle. It's not comfortable. But like in my mom's truck, I think there's a middle seat. It's not comfortable because it's a hump.
But hers is an automatic.
But you still have the stick. You still have the little the cup holders. Yeah, because the stick's on
cup
the
holders
whatever.
are up in front. They're attached to the dash, I think.
No, hers are on like the floor, like the well or what is that where the spare is? I don't know why it comes up like that. So you're basically your legs are kind of either over it or they're in between your legs.
Can't you push it in?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's fairly old. But
well,
yeah, fun stuff.
I just know that they aren't making trucks tiny anymore. And
it's sad. It makes me sad. I'm glad you told me because I think that made me really want to have this truck. I've been telling people I don't know what my pull is towards this truck, but I think that's part of it. And like they're just not around. Like
I don't know why companies have stopped making them. I mean, Datsun doesn't make them anymore. Ford doesn't make them anymore. Toyota doesn't make them anymore.
Maybe there's a different reason that we don't know. That might be interesting.
I don't think there's any good reason except for maybe buyers.
Yeah.
There's not really much of a market for it.
I can't imagine wanting to drive a big truck unless you needed it because of the gas.
But that's the thing is people like to have them because it's like a status thing.
Yeah, but unless you just have a
massive
shitload
pickup.
of money to put towards the gas. I mean, when my mom was driving her truck, because I think
But
maybe I was driving her Saturn.
There's no care about waste. There's no thought about waste.
It's not waste. It's like your money. Like I don't have enough money. I don't.
But I mean, your waste of the natural resource too.
Yeah.
And it's worth it. But at the same time, if you could think that about cost for the vehicle itself. You know.
Yeah.
Just overall, I don't think they're making 4-cylinder pickups anymore. Probably. I wonder.
I'm excited. At any rate, a little change, a little something new, even though it's not new, it's old. But I'm excited. What will you be happy to see the end of the year about? What?
I would be happy to see everybody fucking calm down.
But you know that's not going to happen until
feel
the
like
vaccine is out across the board and people are, or Trump is out and we just stop hearing from him.
Yeah, I think that's a big.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. And I'm not talking about people calming down about the virus. I mean, a little bit I am, because it'd be nice if people would stop panic buying everything. That would be really cool. But just politically, if everybody would chill out and if Trump would shut his fucking hole every once in a while.
The gaping maw.
Yeah.
Where happy things go to die.
You don't have to
rot.
tweet about every fucking thing that pops into your tiny little peanut brain.
What do you got against peanuts?
You know what I'm saying, though? I mean, he tweets.
He is a narcissist.
He tweets like once an hour.
He's a narcissist and a sociopath, and he thinks he's a genius.
He does. He has said it himself.
Girl, boy. What was that test? I mean,
What? I don't know.
Some test where I think he claimed it meant he was very sharp, you know? And it was like repeating things that he saw or in a different order or some kind of thing.
I heard about that, but I didn't actually...
Man, woman, I don't know.
I didn't actually look into it, though.
I did, and then I forgot because it was with the litany of other things that he had said or claimed or been called out on. It was just like...
Well, he had said out loud, you know, at rallies, like, I'm a very intelligent person, you know.
Just ask me.
So he has said it. You can hear him say it. I mean...
Did we talk about him cheating at golf?
I don't think so.
I would hate to repeat it.
But he's been accused by many people to have cheated at golf.
Including Samuel L. Jackson? Or was that kind of like a not necessarily verified?
I think he did, but I think he did say that, and that was, I believe, before he became president.
Yeah, that was like years ago.
So, you know, he was accusing him of cheating back when he was not president.
Yeah, they said he'll ride ahead of people. They said, which is not a thing you do because it's sort of courtesy and ethics, I think. So people know.
Yeah, you wait for somebody else to shoot their ball. But there should be a trust either way. But he was accused of moving his ball and.
But if you just see him like running to his cart and hustling to get ahead, like, aren't you just thinking, that's a bit suspicious?
And he apparently he buys golf courses so he can be whatever you call whatever you
Isn't
would
he
call
like
it.
doesn't he like the first one to play?
Yeah.
And then he like gets his name
So
up
he
on
can
the
be the
board.
best.
Yeah.
At each golf course.
Uh-huh.
Even though it's just because he has bought them and
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. I didn't really look that deep into it.
But there was a sports writer who really went into it and just ripped him because of how cheaty he was and how just
And he had apparently played golf with him.
Yeah. Well,
And
yeah, that's why he said it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would be a little bit, it'd be a little bit maybe inappropriate or, I think you have to play with the guy to say it. But, you hear multiple people saying, yeah, he cheats,
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, why are we still
Questioning
why is
it?
it still news? Why is it still a surprise? Why hasn't he been just completely canceled,
Well,
on every level?
I mean, he's a little billionaire baby boy. So, of course, he's going to be kind of a piece.
Mm-hmm. I know. I feel like you wanted to say he's a little bitch baby. He's a little bitch baby boy.
Well.
But you censored yourself.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
He's a brat.
Mm-hmm.
He's a brat.
Yeah, but it's like on such...
He's a brat, but
it's
that's him, obviously.
What are you doing, you squeaky wheel?
He's been crying, but it's on a level that's dangerous because people are willing to die for him.
Mm-hmm. All right, out.
Careful.
Going out.
Out. Fit through. How big do you think you are? Good Lord. He's like waiting for you to open it further.
Maybe because he has whiskers. Like they say a cat won't go through a room, won't go through a door if their whiskers are like gonna touch it or something. Some kind of BS like that.
Sounds legit.
Speaking of bitch baby boys. Just kidding. I love you.
I love you.
Anyway, on that note, hopefully we'll see the back of him. I mean, you can't miss it. Okay, that I shouldn't.
Fat jokes?
I know. I shouldn't. I'm sorry. I think because you put it together with like a greedy fuck,
Yeah. Well,
like Augustus Gloop.
And because he's riling people up and really like separating everyone from one another.
Yeah.
I mean, my family is having issues because of this.
Yeah.
Because of him.
Yeah.
And they just somehow think that he's...
Do you want to go there?
I don't know. I just don't understand how there is this understanding that the left and the Democrats are capable of wrongdoing, but there's like some sort of blindness to your own party.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is what is driving me crazy about the Trump voters.
Yeah.
There's just like, he's great. People saying he's the greatest president of all time.
Mm-hmm.
You aren't really hearing people say that about any Democrats. You're only really hearing the Republicans say that. As far as I have
Yeah, because
noticed.
I think the Democrats are more rooted in reality. A lot of them. Not all of them.
Of course not all of them,
but
because they're
it's
people.
more about these people are real people, these politicians, and they do wrong or bad or just flawed things. But if on balance they're doing good and moving the country forward and lifting people up out of poverty and illness, then that... What is going on out there?
He's crying.
It sounds like he's dying, like his heart is literally breaking. Then I never say, such and such is the greatest governor of all time or such and such. I never said about Obama he was it's just no need. Is he getting the job done? That we voted him in office to do. Mm-hmm. Like, why does it need to be like he's the best, he's the winnerest,
He's the winnerest.
It just is irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
If you think he's going to do a better job than the guy he's running against, then vote for him. But there's no like perfect person. All right, I think he needs to go to the bathroom. It's just irrelevant. It's unnecessary. It's childish.
Well, and I think most of the people that are saying he's the greatest president, if you peek at their profiles,
he's fantastic.
if you take a peek at their profiles, it's because they are quote unquote Christian.
Mm-hmm.
They're not actually Christian. They are they're America's version of Christian people.
Mm-hmm.
So they're
evangelists, maybe.
Yeah.
Jesus would be ashamed. Jesus would weep.
Mm-hmm. Most likely. He would be disturbed.
Mm-hmm. Okay, my dog is having a meltdown, so I gotta go. Brandon, you can wrap up here, right?
Sure.
I'm just kidding.
Thanks for listening.